Chosen one, what if I told you that you will never have to work for money again? Something big is happening, and God has already decided your prosperity. The struggles, the setbacks, the endless grind, it was never meant to be your portion. They wanted you to believe that success only comes from toil and suffering, but they were wrong. Your financial breakthrough is not tied to the world system. God is moving, and you are stepping into a season where abundance flows without resistance. For years, you've been fighting. You've pushed through obstacles, done everything by the book, and still, it felt like nothing was working. They told you that if you worked hard enough, you'd succeed. But the truth is, no matter how much effort you put in, it always seemed like something was blocking your path. You weren't just facing financial struggles. You were facing spiritual opposition. But here's what they didn't want you to know. You were never meant to chase wealth. Wealth was meant to chase you. The reason you've struggled is because you were operating in a system that was never designed for the chosen ones. But now, God is tearing down those barriers. Your time of striving is over. The shift is happening. And whether they like it or not, prosperity is being placed in your hands. Today, I'm going to reveal why this is happening, how you can recognize the signs, and what you must do to fully step into the divine flow of prosperity. But before we go any further, if this message resonates with you, comment 77 below. This is a sign of completion, because your season of struggle is officially coming to an end. Now, stay with me, because by the end of this video, you will know exactly how to align with God's plan and walk into the wealth that has been waiting for you. Why chosen ones were never meant to struggle. The world has convinced you that success is a brutal battle, that only those who sacrifice everything, work themselves to bone, and endure endless hardship are worthy of prosperity. You have been conditioned to believe that struggle is a necessary part of your journey, that you must suffer before you can receive, and that wealth is only for those who fight the hardest for it. But deep down, something inside you has always questioned this. You've seen others break their backs for years with nothing to show for it. You've seen the hardest working people struggle the most while others seem to receive abundance effortlessly. And you've wondered, why is it this way? Why does it feel like the system is rigged, designed to keep you running in circles with no way out? You are not wrong to question it. The truth is, you were never meant to labor endlessly for your prosperity. The reason you feel this resistance is because you were never meant to live by the world's rules. You are chosen, and your path is different. Your entire life. They told you that struggle is a badge of honor, that your worth is measured by how much pain you can endure. Maybe you've spent years grinding, working twice as hard as others, yet every time you get close to a breakthrough, something pulls you back. They told you to be patient, to push harder, to sacrifice more, but no matter how much you gave, the reward never seemed to come. Every opportunity felt like an uphill battle. Every financial blessing felt temporary, slipping through your fingers as soon as you grasped it. You have questioned yourself, wondering if you are cursed, if you're simply unlucky, if you are doing something wrong. But hear this, the system was never meant to work in your favor. The reason you face so many obstacles is because you were never meant to succeed by the world's standards. You were created for a different kind of wealth, one that is given, not earned, one that flows, not one that is fought for. They wanted to keep you exhausted because a tired chosen one is a powerless chosen one. But God is revealing something to you today. Your inheritance was never tied to your labor. It was always tied to Him. The Bible speaks of divine provision over and over again, yet many overlook the deeper truths hidden in lesser-known passages. In Habakkuk 2 verse 3, it is written, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come, it will not tarry." This means that your prosperity was already appointed long, before you even asked for it. It was written into your destiny, sealed by God's word. The struggle you've endured was not because you had to earn your way to wealth, but because God was removing you from a broken system that was never meant for you. You were being prepared for something greater, something that does not require your sweat, but instead requires your surrender. Look at the Israelites in the wilderness. When they were under bondage in Egypt, they worked under Pharaoh's system, building wealth that they would never own. But once God delivered them, He provided for them supernaturally, manna from heaven, water from the rock, divine guidance through the pillar of cloud and fire. They no longer had to labor under oppression because God himself became their provider. This is your story too. You are being led out of a system that was designed to drain you and into a place where you no longer work for provision. Provision works for you. Something is shifting in your life right now, and you can feel it. Things that once required excessive effort are now becoming easier. Opportunities that once seemed impossible are suddenly within reach. The people who benefited from your struggle, the ones who used you, who expected you to work hard for little in return, are now confused because they see you rising without their approval. This is not luck. This is not coincidence. This is divine intervention. God is removing you from a cycle of endless striving and placing you in the flow of supernatural abundance. You will notice that where doors were once slammed shut, they are now opening effortlessly. Where you once had to beg, now you will be pursued. Where you once struggled to survive, now you will thrive. It is written in Isaiah 60 verse 22, "A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten in his time." The time of delay is over. The appointed time has come. What was once slow will now happen fast. The wealth that was once withheld is now being released. And the best part? You don't have to chase it. It is chasing you. You were never meant to operate in exhaustion. You were never meant to live in lack. The world may have convinced you that struggle is necessary, but God is showing you that ease is your portion. You are stepping into a season where you will witness firsthand what it means to receive without striving. Where others fight for position, you will be placed in rooms without lifting a finger. Where others compete for resources, you will find that everything you need comes to you effortlessly. Because this is not about your effort. It is about divine alignment. It is about standing in the flow of God's promises and allowing yourself to receive what has already been prepared for you. If this resonates with you, comment abundance below. Let this be your declaration that you are stepping into a new season where struggle is no longer your story. Keep watching, because what I'm about to reveal next will prove beyond any doubt that God is already taking over your finances. You'll begin to recognize the signs, and once you do, there will be no turning back. Everything is about to change. Signs that God is taking over your finances. Something is shifting in your life, and deep down you can feel it. The struggle that once defined your financial journey is losing its grip on you. For so long, you were caught in a cycle of lack, frustration, and closed doors. You did everything you were supposed to, worked hard, remained faithful, and trusted that your efforts would lead to breakthrough. Yet, every time it seemed like you were about to step into abundance, something would pull you back. It felt like an invisible force was working against you, keeping you stuck in survival mode. But now, something is different. Things that once felt impossible are starting to move. Opportunities are appearing without explanation. The resources that were blocked from you are suddenly within reach. It's not random, and it's not luck. This is God stepping in. He is taking over your finances. And when God moves, no force in this world can stop it. For years, you may have believed that prosperity had to come through struggle, that wealth required relentless effort and endless sacrifice. Maybe you saw others gaining financial success while doing far less, and you wondered why it felt so difficult for you. You may have found yourself in cycles of financial hardship, always having just enough to get by, but never truly stepping into overflow. No matter how hard you worked, it seemed like there was always an unexpected expense, a missed opportunity, or some form of resistance that kept you from experiencing lasting abundance. They wanted you to believe that financial blessing was only for a select few, that you had to constantly prove your worth to receive it. But that was never God's design for you. The reason things felt so difficult is that you were operating in a system that was never meant for you. You are not of this world. You are chosen. And when you are chosen, your provision does not come from human effort. It comes from divine alignment. God has already declared your breakthrough. And now he is revealing the signs that your finances are being supernaturally restored. One of the greatest confirmations of this shift can be found in Isaiah 45 verse 3, where God promises, "And I will give you the treasures of darkness and hidden riches of secret places, that thou mayest know that I, the Lord, which called thee by thy name, am the God of Israel." This means that the wealth that was previously hidden from you, the blessings that seemed unreachable, were always meant for you, but they were stored away for the right moment. That moment is now. God is releasing financial provision that does not come from your labor, but from His favor. He is leading you to hidden resources, unexpected opportunities, and supernatural supply that will confirm beyond any doubt that He is the one providing for you. This is why you are seeing debts being cleared, financial burdens lifting, and doors opening without struggle. What was once withheld is now being placed directly in your hands, not because of your works, but because of His divine timing. As this transformation unfolds, you will begin to notice unmistakable signs. Money and resources will come from unexpected places. Checks in the mail, sudden business opportunities, job promotions, or financial gifts you didn't ask for. Where once every dollar seemed to disappear, now your finances will stretch further than you imagined. People who once drained you, whether financially, emotionally, or spiritually, will begin to fade from your life because they can no longer take from you. You will experience divine nudges, a strong intuition leading you to be in the right place at the right time, encountering opportunities that align perfectly with your calling. Relationships will shift as God removes those who kept you in a mindset of struggle and replaces them with people who will help you step fully into your financial blessings. Even your thoughts will change. You will begin to think differently about money, seeing it as a tool for purpose rather than a source of stress. These are all signs that God is taking over, that you are no longer striving for wealth, but instead allowing it to come to you through divine favor. You no longer have to chase abundance. It is chasing you. The resistance you once felt is being broken. The heavy weight that sat on your shoulders for so long is being lifted. God is placing you in a position where wealth flows effortlessly, where provision comes without strain, and where you finally walk in the ease that was always meant for you. If you're already witnessing these changes in your life, comment signs below. Declare out loud, affirm in your spirit, and recognize that what is happening right now is not just a coincidence. It is divine alignment. You have stepped into a new season, and from here, things will only accelerate. And this is just the beginning. What comes next is even greater. Now that you see the signs, the next step is to fully surrender to this divine shift. Because the more you let go, the more God will pour into you. Keep watching, because in the next section, I'll show you why surrendering is a key to unlocking even greater prosperity. You are about to enter a level of abundance that will leave no doubt. God is your provider. You've already seen that God is shifting things in your favor. But here's the most important part. If you try to hold on to control, you could block your own blessing. That's why the next step is crucial. Before I reveal it, take a moment to subscribe, share this video, and click the super thanks button if you want to support this message. Now, let's talk about surrender. The power of surrendering to God's will. There comes a point in every chosen one's life when they must make a decision to keep striving in their own strength or fully surrender to God's will. Maybe you're at that point right now. You've done everything you possibly can. You've planned, you've worked, you've tried every strategy, and yet, no matter how much effort you put in, it feels like you keep hitting an invisible wall. It's frustrating, isn't it? Watching others seemingly receive blessings without effort while you fight for every inch of progress. You may have found yourself asking, God, why is this so hard? Why does it feel like no matter what I do, I can't break through? You're not alone in this feeling, and I want you to hear me clearly. This struggle is not because you are unworthy or because you're doing something wrong. It is because God is calling you to a higher way of living. He is shifting you from striving to receiving. He is moving you from self-effort to divine alignment. But for this to happen, you must be willing to do something that may feel completely unnatural. You must surrender. Surrender is one of the hardest things for a chosen one to do, because the world has conditioned you to believe that everything you desire must be fought for. From an early age, you were taught that success requires struggle, that nothing comes easy, and that only those who work the hardest will achieve abundance. This mindset has kept you in a constant state of striving, pushing, and grinding, all while believing that if you don't put in extreme effort, you don't deserve to be blessed. But let me ask you, who told you that? Who convinced you that God's blessings must be earned like wages? That is a lie from the enemy designed to keep you stuck in a cycle of frustration and exhaustion. The truth is, God never intended for you to struggle for your provision. His plan was always for you to walk in divine abundance, not because of your works, but because of His grace. But the enemy wants you to believe that if you stop striving, everything will fall apart. He wants you to believe that letting go is the same as giving up. But surrendering is not giving up. It is stepping into the flow of supernatural provision. The power of surrender is beautifully illustrated in Luke 5, verses 5 to 6. Peter had been fishing all night and caught nothing. He had done everything in his power. He used his skill, his experience, and his effort. But the nets remained empty. He was exhausted, discouraged, and ready to give up. But then Jesus came and told him to cast his net one more time. This made no logical sense. Peter had just spent an entire night failing, but something in him knew that Jesus' words carried power. So, instead of relying on his own understanding, he surrendered. He let go of his frustration, his logic, and his need to control the outcome. And the moment he obeyed, the breakthrough came. The catch was so great that his nets began to break. Do you see the pattern? Peter didn't work harder. He simply aligned himself with divine instruction. And because of that surrender, he stepped into overflow. This is exactly what God is trying to do in your life right now. You've been toiling in your own strength for too long, and He is telling you to stop striving and trust Him. The moment you let go, the moment you surrender your plans, your fears, and your need for control, the blessing that has been waiting for you will be released. When you begin to surrender, the signs of divine intervention become undeniable. Suddenly, the things you used to struggle for will start flowing effortlessly. Where you once had to chase opportunities, they will now seek you out. Resources will appear exactly when you need them. You will experience divine nudges, leading you to be at the right place at the right time. The people who drained you will fade away, and new connections, ones aligned with your purpose, will enter your life. Even your thoughts will begin to shift. The anxiety that once consumed you about money and success will be replaced with an unshakable peace, because you will know that you are being provided for by the Creator Himself. This is not fantasy. This is a reality of what happens when you surrender. God is not calling you to a life of constant exhaustion. He is calling you into a life where blessings come without sorrow, where prosperity is not a burden, and where you receive without striving. But the only way to step into this reality is to let go of the belief that you must control everything, because the moment you release control, God steps in. You are standing at a crossroads. You can continue in the cycle of struggle, trying to figure everything out on your own, constantly feeling the weight of responsibility on your shoulders. Or you can surrender and allow God to take over. What will you choose? If this message is speaking to you, if you can feel in your spirit that it is time to let go of striving, comment surrender below. Declare it in faith. Let it be a symbol of your decision to stop operating in your own strength and start walking in divine provision. Because the moment you surrender, the floodgates of abundance will open, the weight will lift, the struggle will cease, and you will finally understand what it means to live in the effortless flow of God's favor. And this is just the beginning. Now that you know the power of surrender, the next step is learning how to align yourself fully with this divine flow. Keep watching, because what I'm about to reveal next will change the way you see abundance forever. You were never meant to struggle. Now, let's step into the life of effortless blessing that God has prepared for you. How to align with divine abundance. There is a shift happening in your life right now, and you can feel it. Something inside of you knows that you were never meant to live in lack, never meant to struggle just to survive. But at the same time, there's a lingering question in your heart. How do I fully step into this new season? How do I move from simply hearing about divine abundance to actually living in it? Maybe you've tried to position yourself for prosperity before, but every time you got close, it felt like something was holding you back. You are not alone in this. So many chosen ones go through this exact experience, standing at the edge of breakthrough, but unable to fully step into it. The reason is simple. They are still carrying the mindset of struggle. They are still relying on their own strength instead of fully aligning with the divine flow of abundance. But today, that changes. Today, you learn how to position yourself to receive everything that has already been set aside for you. For too long, you've been programmed to believe that receiving God's blessings is difficult, that it requires constant effort, striving, and even suffering. Maybe you were told that prosperity is only for a select few, that wealth is reserved for certain people, while the rest must fight to get by. This belief has kept so many chosen ones stuck in a cycle of frustration, watching others receive freely while they work twice as hard for half as much. But here's the truth. God never designed you to struggle for your inheritance. The enemy wants you to believe that lack is your portion, that you must accept struggle as a normal part of life. But God is saying something different. He is saying, I have already provided everything you need. Align yourself with me, and it will flow effortlessly. The only thing that has been blocking your abundance is the belief that you must fight for it. The moment you stop striving and start aligning, everything shifts. In Matthew 6 verse 33, Jesus gives us a powerful key to divine abundance. But seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. Notice what he says. All these things shall be added unto you, not some things, not a portion, all things. This means that the financial breakthrough, the stability, the increase, the provision, everything you need is already prepared for you. But there's a condition. Seek first the kingdom of God. What does this mean? It means shifting your focus from trying to make things happen in your own strength to fully trusting in God's plan. It means placing him at the center of everything, knowing that when you do, the blessings you once chased will start chasing you. This is a divine order. When you focus on God, everything else aligns. But when you focus on lack, on struggle, on what's missing, you block the flow of what has already been released for you. The moment you shift your perspective, the floodgates of abundance open. One of the biggest signs that you are aligning with divine abundance is the way your words and thoughts begin to change. Instead of saying, I can't afford this, you start declaring, God is providing for me. Instead of feeling anxious about money, you start to feel a deep sense of peace, knowing that everything you need is already on its way. Your mind becomes focused on solutions instead of problems, on gratitude instead of lack. And as your mindset shifts, your reality begins to shift as well. You'll start noticing unexpected financial blessings, money showing up in ways you didn't plan for, opportunities presenting themselves at just the right time, people being positioned in your life to open doors you couldn't open for yourself. Relationships will change as well. People who doubted you, who mocked your belief in supernatural provision, will have no choice but to witness the transformation happening in your life. And here's the most powerful part. Once you enter this flow, it doesn't stop. As long as you remain in alignment, the abundance continues to increase, not just for you, but for those around you. You become a vessel of blessing, a testimony of God's ability to provide beyond human logic. You are no longer striving. You are no longer in survival mode. You are stepping into the reality that was always meant for you. But this requires a decision. It requires you to release every thought of lack, every limiting belief, and fully trust that God's way is higher than yours. If this resonates with you, if you are ready to step into this reality, comment a line below. Let this be a declaration that you are done with struggle, that you are stepping fully into divine flow of prosperity. Declare that you're no longer chasing abundance. Abundance is chasing you. And this is only the beginning. Now that you know how to align, the final revelation is even greater. What happens once you step into divine prosperity? How do you make sure you never fall back into struggle? Stay with me, because this last truth will change everything. You are about to enter a level of abundance that will leave no doubt. God is your provider, now and forever. What happens once you step into divine prosperity? How do you make sure you never fall back into struggle? This last part is the key to maintaining permanent wealth. What happens next? Living in permanent prosperity. There is a moment in every chosen one's life when they realize they have stepped into something greater, something permanent. You've spent years striving, overcoming obstacles, and waiting for your breakthrough. But now, something has shifted. You are no longer living in expectation of prosperity. You are living in it. This is your reality now. But with this new season comes a new responsibility. Protecting what God has given you. The enemy will try to plant seeds of doubt, whispering that this abundance is temporary, that things will go back to how they were, that you must prepare for struggle again. But that is a lie. You are not stepping in and out of blessings. You are living in the overflow that God designed for you all along. The key now is to fully embrace this transformation, walking confidently in the provision that has been assigned to you. not just for a moment, but for a lifetime. One of the biggest traps that keep people from maintaining prosperity is the fear of losing it. Maybe you've seen financial blessings come and go in the past. Maybe you experienced a season of breakthrough, only to have it slip through your fingers just as quickly as it arrived. This creates a cycle of anxiety where you constantly wonder, what if it doesn't last? What if I end up struggling again? But that mindset does not belong to you anymore. Fear attracts lack. Doubt repels blessings. The only way to remain in permanent prosperity is to reject the belief that it can be taken from you. Deuteronomy 28 verse 2 gives you a divine promise. And all these blessings shall come on thee and overtake thee, if thou shalt hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God. This means that the blessings of God are not temporary. They are not seasonal. They are designed to overtake you, meaning they will continue to come, wave after wave, as long as you stay aligned with his voice. The world operates in cycles of scarcity, but you are no longer bound by that. You are in a flow of divine provision now, where blessings chase you, not the other way around. The key to sustaining this abundance is to continue walking in faith and obedience. When God places you in a season of overflow, he also gives you instructions on how to maintain it. That's why you must remain spiritually aligned, keeping your focus on him and not on the money itself. If you make prosperity your idol, it will slip away. But if you keep your eyes on God, he will continue to pour into you without limit. This is what separates temporary success from permanent prosperity. The world teaches people to rely on their own strength, to accumulate wealth through strategy and control. But divine abundance flows through surrender, trust, and obedience. In Haggai 2 verse 8, God reminds us, "The silver is mine and the gold is mine, saith the Lord of hosts." That means he is the source. If your wealth comes from him, then it cannot be shaken, lost, or stolen. It is secured in the kingdom. As you move forward, you will begin to see undeniable signs that your prosperity is here to stay. Resources will not just come when you need them. They will be waiting for you before you even ask. Doors will open without you knocking. Favor will follow you in every area of your life. Even in moments where things seem uncertain, you will notice that provision always arrives at the exact right time. People will start to notice the difference in you. Those who doubted you will be forced to acknowledge that something supernatural is taking place. Even your enemies will have to admit that your abundance is divine. Psalm 23 verse 5 says, "Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over." This is a reality you are stepping into, where your cup never runs dry, where your success is undeniable, where your impact continues to grow. And the most powerful part? This prosperity isn't just for you. It is meant to overflow into the lives of those around you. Your blessings will become blessings for others. Your abundance will create opportunities for those connected to you. This is the true purpose of prosperity, not just personal gain, but kingdom expansion. You must now guard your mindset and refuse to return to old ways of thinking. Reject any thought that tells you this is too good to be true. Refuse to entertain the idea that you could lose what God has given you. Speak life over your finances daily. Declare that your provision is permanent, that your wealth is sustained by heaven, that you will never lack again. If you are ready to walk in this new reality, comment overflow below. Let it be a declaration that you are fully stepping into the abundance that has been prepared for you, not just for a season, but for the rest of your life. Speak it, believe it, walk in it, and this is only the beginning. What happens next is beyond anything you have imagined. Now that you are in the flow of divine prosperity, your entire life is about to accelerate. Your influence will increase. Your impact will expand. Everything connected to you will begin to prosper. This is not just wealth. This is a divine legacy. Get ready, because the next chapter of your life is going to prove one thing beyond any doubt. When God blesses you, no one can take it away. Chosen one, your struggle is over. You were never meant to chase wealth. Wealth was meant to chase you. Now is your time to receive. If this message spoke to you, like this video, subscribe, share it. Also, remember to comment, "I am chosen," if you're ready to activate your chosen energy in your life right now. Your season of prosperity as a chosen one has begun.